So a couple months ago, back in March, I bought this cacti off of Craigslist from a lady not too far from here, and she had a couple of really big ones. As you can see, this one is about 4 feet. This is the one I liked the best. It was the prettiest to me. And so when we picked it up, I asked her how she watered it, because she had had it for, I believe she said 15 years or 10 years, something like that, quite a long time. So I asked her how she was watering it, and she said she would like take a bucket and she would have this much water in it and she would pour it in there. And just from the little that I know of just like having cacti and succulents in the house, that just seemed like a lot of water for a cactus. But so I decided not to water it while I had it in my house. And just in the last 2 months, it just started immediately falling over, and just within the last 2 weeks just started rotting really fast. As you can see, like here, this is really bad, but even up in here, this all happened within a week. So what we did today was that we took it out of its pot and went through all the soil, and as we were going through the soil, it was just wet. It was really wet soil, and you could tell it was molding.
Okay, so what we have here is the pot that this thing was in. And I'm not sure if the camera can catch it, but this is a pretty large pot. It's probably a couple of feet high and at least 1.5 feet wide. The problem with this pot, though, as you can see, is there's only like one small drain hole that's in the bottom. And the fact that's like also like sitting on this guy here, it basically like seals off that drain hole. If you don't get the right soil, or if you don't set this up correctly, something that's this tall is not going to drain at all, actually. And so that's why we're seeing rot in this cactus. And so what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry out, and we'll probably wipe it out so that we can get all the like just kind of nasty soil that's in there. Make sure there's no mold. And then we'll probably fill the sand, or we'll probably fill the bottom of this thing with sand. Probably a good like 6 inches. And then maybe even some rock, so that there's at least like a drainage bottom there. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out and get some actual cacti potting soil, so that it actually drains well. And I mean, you don't really need to put that much soil in, because again, if you take a look at the roots in here, and these roots are not that big. And so our next plan is to let this dry out just a little bit, and then we're going to have to determine exactly where we want to cut this. And you don't want to cut it right at the rot, because obviously like some of the rot could be up in that stem. So as we examine this, we're gonna cut probably about 2 or 3 inches above that, just to ensure that none of that carries over. And then we'll let you know how that goes.